Bum, 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 bum. Good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another stream of Plane Shift, where we build the game we want to build. Yep. Let me see if there is anything new on the Epic Launcher. Like a new free game. No, this one I got it already, I think. This one I got it already. Let me see if there is anything new on Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine. Free for the month? No, it will be Thursday, I think it will be Thursday. Or today. Oh no, it's today. Interesting. Okay, let's get what we need to get. So we add everything to the cart. You never know, you know, what you may be in need of in the future. And then we check. Yeah. And then we check what we got. We got a primitive character pack. Interesting. When was this done? September 23. Wow. I don't think we need any of this, but anyway. We could check a bit how the character is actually made. This stuff is not bad. This stuff is not bad. We have to remember this stuff, boys, because I think we can use it. Well, this headset is a bit too much, huh? Oh. Probably 1 million polygons, but anyway, not bad. There's also a baby. Interesting. One day we will improve the stuff. The staves. There we are. Ultimate farming. Cropcraft Studios. I mean, obviously they are called Cropcraft. Making ultimate farming. Realistic farm team game. I like this one. Not another barrel, please. These are pretty good, actually, huh? We may need those vegetables. We may need those vegetables, guys. Why not? Renovation simulator. Create your own renovation game with tools. So like House Flipper, huh? It's like House Flipper number 2. I see. DLC in blueprints. Quick and easy add DLC and MTX to your project for Steam and Epic Game Stores. What does it mean? If you run into any issue, please reach out. Important Epic Game Store functionality is only supported with Engine 5 and up. There's currently a bug in the market with 20 some user opening flags. Bam bam. Why the music is still so loud? Offers you the ability to simulate games. There's not fit with any project and really very easy to use. No, I don't know. Probably not. Modular medieval town. Modular medieval town. New barrels. A new sacks. Sacks of potatoes and tomatoes. I like the ivy a lot. Why they always have to overdo the how to say in English, the consumption, right, of stuff, right? So why it must be so destroyed? Why? These vases. Yeah, there may be these lamps. I don't know. You never know, you never know. Yeah, it is a good month for us. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that potentially we could use. Potentially. I don't know if you're gonna use it, but yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Okay, anyway. Back to what we were doing. Let me change the music, change the scene, go back into work mode. Let's get to work, like someone is saying. I added, I think that I had already the StarCraft 1 music, but it was not in the right format, and so it's been never picked up. And you know what? Just to we're going to listen to it right now. We're gonna listen to it right now. The wall thing. Well, the wall thing, I don't know. Zerg 2. That is the second song. Okay, so yesterday, yesterday we had a problem with the pedestal, right? The pedestal was not picking up, right? This and yeah. So the solution was, well, first of all, to use the ID like we did already yesterday together, and then to ensure that the blueprint was actually triggering the door. The blueprint, I mean the interactable container blueprint. Actually, that one was not complete, right? But now it is complete because I just added the missing piece, which was very simple. We just an unwrap and call the activation, and so now it actually works. One problem though is the reset, and so tonight I want to think about the reset of everything. So reset of locks, reset of traps, reset of doors, reset of loot, reset of pedestal, reset of monsters, right? So we have a lot of stuff that should be reset and respawned in the dungeon, and we need that to be working fine, right? Otherwise, after the first run, right, it will not work anymore. So now to do that, we have to do some testing, but I think I already know pretty much, right, how it works. Let me see if I have it in the previous. Let me see if I have it in this one. No, it's not there. Respawn, there is one here. Respawn for dynamically spawned NPC. No, there is not. So we have a number of respawn needed, right? Respawn, reset, and all of that. I think we can put it probably in this section here. I see. Reset time of. There is a bit here, actually. No, I'm touching the picture. So the reset time, I don't really know if the reset time should be based on dungeon size. I don't think. Well, in theory, the longer it takes, I think it's kind of a good thinking because you may have a very small dungeon, you may have a very big dungeon, right? So depending on but if we create it with a UI, right? Then this is probably not needed. So let me change that. Let me do it differently. I think that we should ensure that so ensure reset of, I mean a time reset, right? Must have time reset or must reset, whatever, must, whatever. Let's say time reset of traps, locks, doors. I mean traps on ground and traps on traps on ground and doors and chest, locks on the same, doors and pedestal. And monsters. So basically we have this one working, but we don't have the fact at the moment the pedestal is actually not consuming the item contained, right? While I think it should. Do you think it should or not, guys? Do you think the pedestal should consume the item or not consume the item? I mean, the problem of not consuming the item is that you basically put the item once and then it stays open forever, right? Which for us is not. Is not a good design. So the pedestal should actually consume the item contained so that it becomes, you know, repeatable. Yeah. So we have to do that, and we have to ensure the reset of traps, locks, door, and pedestal. Maybe first we can do this because I think it's already kind of working. So if I have my now, the only problem is the. I think I have to delete the dungeon though. Yeah, because I need to create it manually. I need to create it manually. Let me see what happens if I say dungeon delete twice. Do we kill the server? Yeah, we do. Okay, well, that should not happen. Let me check why, but it should definitely not happen. Delete all traps. It's failing on traps. Dungeon room 23. Ah, yes, because the room is not. No, I think I just need to do this. I just need to gate the delete. Yeah, this will prevent, you know, the thing from delete the top node room. I don't know exactly why it crashed though, but it crashed on 20 what? It crashed on room 23, so it's when it crashed on delete node room, delete all traps. So probably because room was not valid. That's kind of strange though, huh? That is a bit strange that it crashed, but anyway. The other thing I wanted to do, I just wanted to double check why we are generating the pedestal on the next to last instead of the next to last. So don't know exactly what is happening, but probably I did something stupid on the generation. So let me see. Generate dungeon, right? So when we generate this dungeon, we are here. Take all the other leaves and walk backward. Leaf room. So we are entering with the leaf room, right? So the current room is actually the leaf. Okay. The current room is actually the leaf. So when I enter in Doors only to child rooms. So current room is the leaf, and current room parent is actually the room we want to work with, right? So it's this one. So on spawn door on connection, the room where I want to put the pedestal is actually the father room. So let me see if we do it right. Check if you want a pedestal in this room. Find the loot position. Yeah, exactly. It's the father room. What is this connection? Ah, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Father and child. No, actually it's correct. Current room, parent connection. Yeah, exactly. Current room, parent connection. But I think there is something not working, because I've seen that is always missing the last door. I think this current room parent connection, I'm not sure is set properly. Father and child, parent connection. Adding a child room, child get name, add room recursive. Parent connection, because there is a recursive already. No, add new room, parent connection. Add new room. I mean, it's okay that the first time is null, because actually we don't have the child yet, right? But the second time, I don't know why I called it parent connection, because actually is the child connection. Because when I spawn the room, right, I spawn this room first. No, I mean, not I spawn. I consider this room first, and then I consider this room next, right? This connection should be stored. Well, we can decide where to store it. If you want to store it here, or if you want to store it here. Actually, I think the way I did it, I store it here. So is actually a child connection and not a parent connection. Yeah, I think I store it I think I stored it on the child. I stored it on the father, on the father, let's say, and is the connection with the child. Is the father-child connection, right? So when then I go in the next rooms, connection 1, room 1. Why I'm returning a different connection? Get a random connection in room 2. Get a random connection in room 2. Ah, yes, because then I rotate it. Yeah, yeah. So actually the connection that I return is the connection on the parent that corresponds to the one of the child. Yeah, exactly. So in reality, those two are exactly in the same position. So connection 2 and connection 1 are actually in the same position, but they are different connections because this belongs to the parent and this belongs to the child. And then here we store the connection of the parent, the connection of the child. And we call it father. But it is the child connection. I'm very surprised though. I'm very surprised we do it the opposite. Ah, but when we create, we go from entrance to loot, not the opposite, huh? Okay. So actually connection 1, yes, is sitting towards the entrance, right? Yeah. Connection 1 is sitting towards the entrance. But I think I have this upside down somehow, because then this will add connection 1 . Where are we setting the eyes here? Parent connection. I don't know if I have a bug here or something. Hello, Fanner. Hello, Zerg. TDG. Interesting interesting nickname. Considering we have StarCraft music in the background. Hello, Hula. I just checked the marketplace. I think you missed it. Unreal kind of day? Yeah, well, every day is unreal kind of day for us. But yes. I think I want to see, because the problem that we have is that it looks to me that this parent connection is set, but then when we spawn I think I have to debug the generation. I mean, not the generation, but the spawn in the spawn of the doors. So when we spawn the doors, right? So basically down here, I need to understand why we are not putting the, okay, let's try to let me recompile and then we ba ba bam bam bam. Because it seems that the last room is not the one getting the proper door connected to the pedestal, which is kind of weird. So it seems that when we arrive inside dungeon recursive, right? And we go here. No, but you see that it's not correct. You see that it's not correct, because here I'm checking if my current room is a parent, meaning someone going toward the entrance, right? Yeah, it's correct, right? So on that one, no, but it's not. I mean, in theory, you should check if he has a child, not if he has a parent. But I don't think I have. I don't think I have current room. I have children, yeah. But children is an array. So you see that is the opposite. I mean, if children is an array, I mean our thing can be. I think I have something a bit upside down. You know, our thing can be like this, right? So this room has two children, right? But one father only. So one room can only have one father because we are in a three, in a kind of a three structure. So So the fact that I say parent, the fact that I say door only to child rooms, right? And then I'm checking the parent, and the parent is a single object, while right? So in theory I should check the opposite. I should check if children num is greater than 0. Because basically if I do this, I will be spawning, if I do this, right, I will be spawning so I go up once. I go up once. So like from here, right? From here, I go this direction and I go here, right? So this is what we are doing here in this line, right? And so we work on this one, right? We work on this one and we say, yeah, the problem is that that room may have 2 connections, right? That room may have 2 connections. I don't think that I'm doing it totally right, because like if we are in this situation, this room will be considered because I actually pass the parent connection. I actually pass the parent connection. And I only add 1, right? No, I think I'm doing it wrong. Apart from the pedestal, but I think I'm doing it wrong because Medieval village, yeah, I've seen it. More battles and more plants. Yeah, pretty good. I like the scepters, the rods in the tribal pack. I don't know if you have seen it, but I like those rods. Are very nice. Well, I cannot click it, but you can see it. Yeah, this. This one, I think is very nice, and also this one. They look very high poly, but I think we can maybe fix them a bit. This problem is not an easy problem because it's going back to the wall reasoning on spawning stuff, but for what I see, you know, we should spawn going up, right? So like we have a final room, right? We have a final room, and for sure is connected somehow to the previous, right? So this is where we need to spawn the door, because it's a final room, right? Then I go Then I go back once. So basically I will place the door, you know, I will place the door here. Then when I analyze this room, you know, the same, I will place the door here. So actually in this room we will have two doors. I mean, this is how it should work, but I don't know if it's actually working this way. I think I'm a bit confused on if it's working that way or not, because I always see that the last room does not have the door, which is kind of strange, right? So I think I will go step by step and try to understand what is going on. I think it will take a bit, but I think it's a good point. So okay, we have one high value leaf room and we have one medium value leaf room, right? No, sorry, actually we have only one leaf room. Yeah, we only have one leaf room, so our dungeon is very straightforward, right? So what happens here is that so this will be high loot room path, right? And current room children equal to 0. I think that here is where we need to put the door. Why I said that the door is in a child room? I think it's super stupid. Or is the same? Is it the same if I... Oops, I think I did something, I don't know what. Is it the same if the algorithm works the opposite, so that I go... No, because my fear is that if I go this direction, and I analyze this room first, and then I say, hey, please put a door on the connection, then this room will be flagged as done, right? This room will be flagged as done. And so when I start again from this room and I go up, this one will be skipped. So this one will never have a door in this location, right? We never have a door in that location. And exactly. No, I think it's not correct. I think I have to move this. I think I have to move this up here. No, actually, I think I need to have this everywhere, because in theory doors... Why I said doors only to child room? This is what I don't understand. Because basically what I'm doing, I'm placing the loot in the current room, right? The loot in the current room. And then I'm placing the door in the parent, which, yeah, it is called child, but anyway, in the parent room, right? I'm placing the door there. But then what I do, I flag this one as done, or I flag the other one as done? Ah no, I flag this one as done. I flag this one as done. So actually if we do it this way, it may work. Because for each of the... Yeah, I see. If we flag... because it's not that we are flagging this one is done. We are not. We are flagging this one is done. So the sequence is... I analyze this room. I check what is the connecting door. I place the door on this room. I place the loot in this room here. And I flag it as done. So then when I analyze this other one, right? I do the same. I check this door. I place the door. I place the loot. And then I flag it as done. Then I go in this one. I check this door, right? I put it here. Place the loot. And flag is done. So actually... And then the last... we never want to put loot or doors. No, okay, I think it's correct. I think it's only... What is misleading is that it's saying child. In reality, this is parent, it's not child. Exactly. So the door is stored in the parent room. So here we actually spawn a door in the parent room, right? Which is basically this one, right? This one. And okay, let me see what it's doing. Oh fuck no, since I changed the code. Actually I didn't really change it. I mean, I changed only the... But anyway, let me recompile. I changed only the comment, but fine. Rider is very sensible to code changes. I think on that probably Visual Studio is a bit smarter. I think so. Okay, let me run this. I think I need to document a bit this this algorithm, because I think it would be nice to have it written down, so I don't have every time to, you know, read it again. Okay, I think we can change music now. We got enough StarCraft music. Enough StarCraft music. Let me maybe do it a second without breakpoints. I want to see... want to disable the breakpoint a second. Oops. Yeah. So outside the dungeon, right? So here we are outside the dungeon. What do we see? Well, this dungeon is very simple. Starts here. There are 5 rooms. And so definitely this room is the last room, right? I think there is no doubt about it. Yeah, so that is the last room. So I want to see actually if in this last room there is a door or not. Because what I've seen is that Yeah, you see, it's missing the door again. Now, it's true that we are randomizing it, but it's strange that it's always in this room and not in the last room, right? And the pedestal actually is not in this room like it should be, but is in the one after, right? If I go through this door, yeah, you see the pedestal is here. So actually it seems that it's never the last, it's the next to last. And this is what I don't get. He's always doing it like this, and he's so okay. So I think it's confirmed, right? It's not just a chance. I don't think it's a chance. He's always doing it this way. And that is exactly... So I think, okay, spawn door on connection. Now, the only thing we need to be sure is that this parent connection is actually pointing to the parent, right? Why saying again doors only to child if I changed it? Ah, because it's two places. Okay, I have to change it here as well. Okay. Okay. It's in two places. We can be in a high loot room path or not. Okay, so we get the parent room, and we get the parent connection. So we have that thing. Okay. So now inside of this, the connection is is this connection. So how it is possible that then we are not spawning the door? That is what I don't get. Because my father... wait a second. Father and child are reversed, eh? Father and child... no. Father and child are correct. Father and child are actually correct. Assuming that the parent goes towards the entrance, right? Like we said. Yeah. No, it's correct. It's correct. So the first parameter here is the father, and this one is the child, which is, by the way, the current room, right? Is the current room. So we check if the father or the child are the stairs, and we exclude them. Fine. And then we take the father. Yeah, exactly. We take the father. Exactly. And we spawn it. Nah, I don't understand. I don't understand how it is possible that this is not correct. Or the last room is never added. Maybe the last room is never added to the because it's impossible. How many rooms we have in this guy? Well, let me do this. Let me delete this dungeon. Let me delete. The problem is that if I debug it, I cannot see it in the result, but because my client times out. But I can delete it, and I can create a new one, right? And I can enable the breakpoints, and we can see, but the problem is that I will not be able to see it. But pretty much would be the same. Because I would like to see how many rooms we have. That's kind of annoying. You know what? I think I want to debug it slightly before. But I'm pretty sure that we are adding all the nodes. It's not easy to debug this thing. It's not easy to debug. Because actually we are adding the room. Yeah, add new room is the one that is doing the job. Yeah, so which is correct because this one will have no parent connection, no anything. Exactly. Unfortunately, parent connection is not really explained, but parent connection. This is the connection in the current room. And this is the connection in the child room. So this is basically connection father and this is connection child. Maybe I can rename it just to make it more clear. And so when I add the room, right, I add the father room, which is the connection one. Oh, yeah, it's correct because there is the father connection and this is the child connection. So I'm adding the father connection. Yeah, so there is the father connection. Exactly, the parent connection. I don't know, it's fine. I just don't understand why it doesn't work. I mean, why we always see the last one not having a door, and why we see the pedestal 2 rooms back, right? So that's kind of very weird. So at the moment we already generated the dungeon, right? And we are placing the spawnable in the dungeon. So our dungeon is fully created. It's actually made of number of rooms. Why we don't have a number here? Because probably we are not debugging at the moment. Yeah, because I didn't generate it yet. Okay, I'm generating it now. So we have 5 rooms, right? We have 5 rooms, which doesn't mean that we generated 5 rooms. The original request was 5 rooms, actually. But we see we have 1 high value loot rooms and we have 0 medium value loot rooms. So it means that again we have a chain of rooms one after the other, right? Yeah, and this guy's timing out, which is okay. So then I take my first room, which is actually a corridor. Unfortunately it's a corridor, but it's okay. I mean, even if it's a corridor, it's fine. And actually in the log I should have the list of rooms that I generated, right? If I go debug, yeah, exactly, this is the list, right? So it starts with this, then this, then this, then this, and then this. So this is the list of rooms, and the longest branch is 5. Yeah, exactly, right? So corridor C1 is our last room. right? So now what we want to see is that the pedestal should be placed in room 1C4, right? This is where we want the pedestal. And we are correctly in corridor C1. Yeah, exactly. So in the last room, so now we are in corridor C1. We are in corridor C1 and we enter here. Correct. And no, we said that the algorithm was going up, no? No door here, as there is no child. Doors are placed on the child. No, that is fucked up, boys. I know I said it already a few times, but the problem is that it looks correct because actually he's using the parent to place the door, but it's not correct. The algorithm should be the one that I explained here. So we check the parent exactly. It's correct that we check the parent, but we cannot check the parent of the child. We have to check the parent of the current room. So here we are already down 1, right? And yeah, that is what is fucked up. Yeah, that is what is fucked up. So I need to place... So basically what we are saying is that what we are saying is that this should be executed in all cases. Exactly. This should be executed in all cases. So in all cases, before the loot, yeah, I prefer to do it before everything. So we place the door, right? But store it. We place the door stored in the parent room, right? Exactly. So we check if we have a parent. If we don't have a parent, it doesn't make any sense. But if we have a parent, we actually take the parent and then we connect it. And this is where we want to have also the pedestal. And it is done for every single room. Yes, exactly. And the positioning path is actually the current room path. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that will fix that will fix it. I think that will fix it. Hello, Spirit. If you can speak English, because I cannot translate, but we will immediately translate it. Just because we can, but please speak in English. Okay. You are very religious, or... Okay, so we launch it again with this change and we see if now the pedestal is in the right place and if the door is in the right place. In theory, The chance of spawning a door in the last room should be nearly 100%. I mean, it's very, 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 very high because it's the maximum difficulty in theory, right? So I'm just deleting some bad data. Because during my test with the... Okay, so we generate the dungeon, I would say without breakpoints, right? I think I can disable the breakpoints, it's fine. Let's disable the breakpoints and see if now... okay, we have a door immediately here, which is okay. Now we have doors everywhere. It looks like, yeah. Looks like, okay, so the pedestal is here and the door is actually here, which is the last room. Okay, so now I think is correct. Now I think is correct. So let me see. So the pedestal now should be working, right? So it's saying you need a dagger. So if we put a dagger, into the into this, that door will open. Now the pedestal is not in the best place to see it, but you see that this door opened, and there is no way to open or close this door manually, right? Now, the problem we have at the moment is that the dagger is not consumed in this process, right? And also, if you put a dagger again, the door may close, actually. The door may close. Yeah. So because at the moment, putting the right item is just toggling the door, right? It's just doing a toggle. Like if I put a spoon, for example, right? Items cannot be added to the container because the item is too large to fit. Probably because this guy is super big. Size 25. Ay. We need to ensure that our container can contain anything, huh? There is a mistake, huh? Our container should be able to contain absolutely anything. So the sides and the container max sides should be infinite. Well, maybe infinite, I don't know, but it should be... Container max sides, the default is 1, but yeah, it should be I don't know, 2000 or 5000. I mean, it should be as big as we want. Let's say 5000. Because at the moment that item is not fitting, right? Because it's too big. I don't know if I copied it already here. Maybe not. No, I didn't, huh? I have to copy that there because we need it. We need it. We need it when we will go production with this thing. Okay. So okay, so but anyway, just to say that if you put something that is smaller, right, like this, is not triggering the door. You see, the door stays closed, right? The door stays closed. Or if I put this guy, the door stays closed, right? So it's only if you put the dagger, then the door actually opens, right? So that is perfect. That is what we want. Now, the problem I have that I want the pedestal to actually consume that thing. And then I want to be sure that all the reset are correct. So, okay, now that we fixed that, which is very good. Let me delete the dungeon. Let me dungeon delete. And let me generate a new one, but this time we generated with specific parameter, right? So 5 rooms is perfect. Rare rooms, unfortunately, I think we will not get even one, but it's okay. Difficulty and loot quality is okay. Skin, we don't care. I want to check this. I want to check the trap reset time. That I think we should say probably 30 seconds. The NPC respawn time, which is 30 seconds. The loot respawn time. Yeah, the loot respawn time was... it really looked like it was not working, right? Was really looking like broken. But anyway, if I create it now... There is my new dungeon. By the way, there is already a guy here. So let me see if any of these doors is actually trapped, right? Okay, this one is not trapped, but if I open... So if I open a door that is actually openable with no traps, no locks, I think that we don't need a reset, right? So this one can actually stay open. Okay, this one needs to be brute forced, and I don't know if there are traps, by the way. I don't think so. Yeah, there was a trap, actually. There was a trap. And I removed the trap. Okay, so now 2 things should happen. In 30 seconds from now, the door should close automatically, right? So now is 11 whatever. At roughly 25 seconds or 20 seconds. Okay, it felt shorter, but it was okay. So the door closed, and in theory, it is. You see, is it trapped again? And it needs to be brute force again. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, very good. Very good. So this works. This works. So the 30 seconds on the trap seems to be fine. Now, the problem I have is with the pedestal. This thing should go down, huh? Okay. The problem I have, I think, is with the pedestal. Because the pedestal... the pedestal is working kind of differently because it's a linked object. So this pedestal knows that that door is connected to him, right? And so if I activate it, right, with a dagger, the door opens, but it never resets, right? It never resets. It never resets. It never resets. Yeah, we need to fix this. So this door will stay open forever now, and it's not a good idea, obviously. Now we just need to find in the code where we have the contained items, right? So is inside interactable actor contained items. So interactable actor contained ID, right? So here is doing the activation. Here is doing the activation. And here is where we need to start. Basically, here is where we need to start a timer, right? Yeah. Because we return true in the can toggle of our container item. I think that whoever is calling this actually doesn't know that that's a container. In theory, there could be traps on the container. I think I have to do this. So it must be a container item. It must have this, and it must have this. So if this app, if all these conditions are valid, it means that we are in the case where we toggled with an item dropped into the container, right? And so in this case, we we need to start we need to start a reset timer, right? And the reset timer for now can use probably the trap timer. Which I think is, or we can add a new parameter somewhere that is door reset, right? But I think we can use the one of the traps. I think it's fine. It's perfectly fine. The one of the traps in the locks, I think is okay. I think it makes no difference. Okay, so which kind of timer we are going to use? That's a good question. How can I see all the classes? How can I see all the classes of my project? But only my project, not Unreal Engine, right? I would like to have a class view. How do I get in Rider a class view? Navigate type hierarchy. But navigate type hierarchy. I mean, I don't want to start from a specific class. I want to navigate type hierarchy. What happened? Something happened? I didn't see it. Navigate type hierarchy. Probably one of these panels actually opened, but what? You have to have something selected, probably. Type hierarchy. Can I see show elements from this solution? Show element for this solution, yeah. Super type, subtype. Actually, I would like to limit it to my project, right? Yeah, I know because if I take like a actor, right, it becomes impossible, right? In fact, it doesn't even do it. I wanted to see, well, maybe I have a way. If I take any UPS, wait, maybe I have a way. If I take any UPS game event, right? if I take UPS game event and I do navigate type hierarchy, yeah, these are all our game event pretty much, because these are all the ones that are derived from UPS game event, right? And for example, there is UPS random event timer. UPS respawn game event, right, and so on. So these are all the ones that we are using now. For example, we have trap reactivate, right? We have trap reactivate and brute force reset. So these are the two that we are using in the generated dungeon. So now the question is, do I want to use one of those, or do I need a new one? I think I need a new one, because the result of that will be to reactivate the linked odds. The only thing I need to do is basically to reactivate the linked objects when that expires, right? Maybe I can call it interactable reset. And yeah, let's call it interactable reset, and then maybe we can do some if and else, right? Yeah, okay. So if I take this class and I just duplicate it, I don't know if I want to put it here or I want to put it in, I think I want to put it inside interactable, because it would be the most logical place, right? So we will put it here at the end. This one will be called UPS interactable reset, and is derived from UPS game event. And we can say used to reset interactable object, for example, pedestal linked to a door, all linked objects should reset, right? Well, in theory, also our guy may will retoggle, right? So I think we are just retoggling our guy, and then everything. I don't know if I have to retoggle him or I have to toggle the linked. That I don't know yet. I think it's a bit, I don't know. Yeah. So trigger, in theory, trigger should just activate the linked objects, but it's not exactly like that, because like when we do the trap reactivate, right? When we do the trap reactivate, If current state is different, then the problem is that our pedestal doesn't really have a state, right? I mean, the door has a state, but the pedestal does not have a state. You may ask why. Well, I mean, it's a good question. I have to think about it a second. So at the moment, the way the pedestal works is that this guy is a kind of a number, right? It starts from 1 and then it goes up, right? Every time you drop a dagger into it, it basically increments by 1. So this will become 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And it is actually, it knows that this door is linked to it, right? And so is toggling the door, and the door actually opens. And if you do it again, the door actually closes, right? Which is not exactly what we want, because what we want is that I think it's the same as a pressure pad, right? The pressure pad has the same, well, no, because when you remove it is automatically going back to the previous stage, right? So here we need a timer. So there is a, yeah, exactly, that's the difference. So here we have a timer that goes through, and when it goes through, it will close the door. The problem is that if during that time, right, if during that time you are going to put another dagger into the pedestal, right? I think we need to know the state of the linked object. In fact, there is a linked object state in the do toggle, which is actually toggling only. I mean, when I do the activate linked, I have a linked object target state, because exactly, this is the state we want the linked object to go with this toggle. If the target object is already in the state, it should not move. Exactly. The problem is that how do we know what is the target state of the linked object? Because with a door, I mean, at the moment we are doing it only with the door, so I could actually pass the value. I could actually pass the value 2, right? Because the door starts closed, and I think that the state is 1, and then it goes to 2, where the state is where the door is open. But and the same with the gate, right? The gate is the same logic. So in theory I could say linked state equal to 2 and reset it to 2. So if you decide to close the door with another dagger, which you can do, when the reset triggers, you will not open it again, right? Which I think is exactly what we want. So yeah, because there is a bit of a, you know, complexity in the opening and closing. So in the interactable container, at the moment I'm saying linked object target state -1, right? But this is not what we want. I think what we want is so for example, interactable door one-sided, right? PS state starts with 2, okay, which is actually closed. And then it goes to 1 when it's open. That's a bit weird. It starts with 2, okay. Okay. Is it the same with the double door? I hope it is. Yes, it is. Is it the same with the sliding object? Is it the same with the sliding object? Interactable, sliding multi-state? No, interactable sliding. Interactable sliding. So with the sliding is not the same number. So actually we will have to know, you know, what is what. So for the sliding object, the linked state is 0 closed, 1 open. Unfortunately, so it's a bit fucked up. It's a bit fucked up, but I mean, we could do. But we don't know. Huh. We actually don't know here. Because in theory I can say 2, right? If I say 2 here, no, if I say one here, which is actually open, right? 1 is basically open for doors, right? One is open state for doors. Yeah, the problem is that every object at the moment has a different setup because I didn't need that, right? I was not in need of this thing, and so I didn't really think through. I mean, I have a default state, so I know what is the default state. I know what is the default state, so I can say... wait a second. I have the default state. I have the default state. Yes, I do. So can I play it? Can I play it with the default state? So can I say the same way we said here for the trap reactivate, which basically says if we can do it for all the linked object though. Because if I call because if I do this, if I do this, this is pretty bad. Activate linked object. Is the state we want the linked object to go with this toggle? If the target object is already in that state, it should not move. Hey, but the problem is that I want to go in the default state. When I reset, right, I want to go in the default state, and I don't know what is the default state of all the objects. So I will have to do something like because linked, I think I have linked actor get default state, right? Exactly. So you know what we can do? We can add a new thingy. We can add a new thingy which is -2. So -1 is ignore. Any other number is a valid number. Well, which by the way, -1 in certain cases, like the sliding thing, is actually a valid state. But we could have like a -2, which is go back to default state, whatever it is. But will the door be able to go back? I mean, if it's a single door, if it's a door one-sided, yes. But if it's the door not one-sided, which has 3 states, can be opened both sides, this will not anyway work. But it's not my case. I think that, I mean, we have one that is an interactable door, 2-sided, but I think for now we can ignore it. For now we can ignore it. What is the best compromise? Is the best compromise to say -2 go back to default state, or the best compromise is yeah, I think so. I think the best compromise is I think the best compromise is this. I think that is the best compromise I can have. So here I can say if linked object target state equals to -2, what is going on? Yeah, then we get the linked actor default state and we pass it in. So for the door will be 2, right? And so the door will check, oh, I want to be closed, right? And if I'm already closed, I'm not closing again, right? So I think that this will do. And this means that our container object, I mean, this is kind of a bit weird, but this means that our just the container object, we will say so just in the case of the reset, right? Just in the case of the interactable reset in the trigger, right? We will say activate linked object -2, okay? So ask the linked objects to go back to their default state. For doors, it's closed door. So doors, example, doors stay closed, right? Because we don't want the door to reopen when the reset trigger happens, right? That is why we do all this mess. We do all this mess because we don't want the door to reopen when the expiration time goes in, because that would be the opposite of what we want, right? So now that we have this trigger, now that we have this game event, right? The only thing we need to do is pretty much to call it the same way we call this guy. So it would be the same as this. What was that? I think it was simpler than that. This, right? So in the interactable code, we start a new UPS interactable reset, and we use the brute force reset. Which, by the way, I think will be the same. Right? So this will push the this will push the timer. And the timer, now the problem is that this timer needs to be added to the dungeon timers, because yep. Do I do this already or no? Ooh, 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 ooh. You gotta say, ooh. I think these timers will actually try to trigger and then it will all fail. I mean, we can probably... Yeah, I think this is a very bad idea. It is a very bad idea because... because this guy will be deleted by the time... If we delete the dungeon, this guy will be deleted. So I think that the problem is the traps. I mean, I can do it for brute force reset, but for traps, I don't really know if that object... I think it's the same. I think it's actually the same. We have a bit of an issue here, because if the object is destroyed, and I have it in an array, that array will have an element pointing to an invalid object, huh? I think all this needs to be changed, boys. At least the trap, because I mean the player, yeah, but also the player, because the player can disconnect. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless I go by player ID, but if I don't go by player ID, this thing is going to GG out. Yep. Yep. So I need to, yeah, because deleting the dungeon, I mean, if you start to, if you brute force something or unlock something or remove a trap, and then there is a timer started, right, for the trap to actually reactivate, but then the dungeon gets deleted, right? The dungeon gets deleted. The timer is going to fire, and that is gonna fail, right? So, but didn't I, let me see, didn't I just save all the timers somewhere? For the delete dungeon, right? Delete all timers of future spawn chat. Yeah, you see that here I was already doing that. So I was actually properly clearing the timers. Another thing that we can do, we can let the timer go, but we check if our object has not been deleted, right? Which is pretty much the same. Basically, when we trigger, so this also needs to be. I think pretty much everything needs to be the weak object pointer, by the way. But anyway, when this triggers, right, the first thing we need to see if this guy is still valid, right? Right, so that's pretty much the question. So if mechanism is not valid, so it's been, you know, we just return. And pretty much we have to do the same thing everywhere, right? Now that we converted it to, so also in this trigger the same, right? So when we reactivate the trap, right, if the trap doesn't exist anymore, if the trap doesn't exist anymore, because it got destroyed, I think before destruction I need to remove it. I think I have to do this in the... No. Ouch, I cannot type. But I think I need to do this when the trap gets removed. Because if I don't do it, yeah, I think I need to do it in the delete. Before deleting all the traps. Before deleting... Where are all the traps? Huh? Why I don't see it? Available connection, ending pieces, door instances, pedestal. Ah, because they go within the room. Ay. Yeah, because it's actually inside the rooms. Yeah, it's actually inside. The traps are inside rooms. So you see this delete all traps. So basically, before destroying them, we need to be sure that we remove them from But I don't have the player here. Okay, for now I'm not gonna do it. But this is definitely going to crash the server. If you don't wait the respawn time, anyway, it's long to explain, but I would not explain, it's too long. But anyway, there is a chance that the server crashes. I'm aware of it. It's fine. It's too complex to fix it at the moment. At the current stage of evolution, I think is okay, but in the future I need to think to a better way storing the disabled traps and all of that for the procedural dungeon, because you can basically enter the dungeon, start to discover a trap, start to brute force something, and then the dungeon gets deleted before the timers reset, and so the traps get removed from the list of disables and brute force and such, right? So and this means that the next time actually it's not gonna crash, because that trap will never be scanned again, right? With that ID will never be scanned again. So in theory it's not gonna crash. Yeah, it's not gonna crash, but it's leaving one entry in the T map that is pointing to an invalid object. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so maybe it's less damaging than I was thinking. Yeah. No, I think it's good. I think it's good. So, guys, if you're still listening and you lost track of what I'm doing, basically trying to have this pedestal properly reset after a certain amount of time, so that the door that is connected to can close again. Okay, so that is basically the logic, and I have to do it with, I mean, using the same structure that we have for all the interactable object, all the linked object and such, right? So I don't want to do something specific for the pedestal, so that's why it's taking a bit more time, because I have to put it within the framework that we already have of interactable objects, right? But I think now it's gonna work, potentially. I mean, I'm not sure because I did so many changes, but in theory it should work, because now we have the trigger that is, we have the timer that is generated when I put the dagger in. And when that timer triggers, we are sending the request to basically reset to the default state, whatever it is, right? We don't know it up front, but the door knows it. And is the closed default state, okay? Okay, it is the pedestal. So we are going to put a dagger and the door will open. Now, if I leave the dagger or not, at the moment doesn't make any difference, but the dagger will have to be consumed, okay? But I can remove it, it's fine, I can remove it. So now... Ah, fuck, I did a mistake. I didn't generate the dungeon with the 30 seconds delay. So the default is 10 minutes. So yeah, I cannot wait 10 minutes. So so if we delete the dungeon now and we create a new one, let me just see what else is gonna happen. Yeah, this is exactly the case where the timer is on and the object has been deleted, right? So we can see if it crashes, but in theory it should not. So let's generate a 5, 1, and then here we do 30, 30, 30. Oops. And I think it collided with me. But anyway, we can go to the last room. The last room should be, I don't know if it's that one or this one. I don't know, potentially this one. No, we need to go to the next to last. So this one. So holy moly. This one is dangerous. There is a guy next to the pedestal. Okay. So the door, I think, is that one. Right? Because the loot should be... Wait. Because the loot should be in that room, no? Or in that room? Wait, I think there is something weird here. Anyway, the pedestal is here, so it's fine. So I think probably this one will open. So now it's 30 seconds, right? So if I take this and I put it, yeah, that door open. So it lets me go through, and there is in theory, ouch. There is in theory the loot there. Now if I remove this guy, and I wait 30 seconds. I don't know actually if it's 30 or 60, because if you're using the brute force, but I think we set the brute force to be equal to the trap reset timer. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's all the same value at the moment, but it should be 30 seconds. So that door should close. I mean, this thing should trigger. But it seems it's not triggering, huh? Longest 30 seconds of my life. It looks like it didn't. Ah! It did! Maybe they were 60, but it worked, huh? It worked. It worked, fantastic. So he actually reset after a certain amount of time. Now what I want to see is this. If I put my dagger in, and then I put another dagger in, the door will close, right? So I'm basically sacrificing my dagger to close the door. And this guy has the reset timer in his mind, right? This guy has the reset timer in his mind. So in 60 seconds or 30 seconds, how much they are, I don't know, the interactable reset event will actually trigger. But considering we have -2, right, the door should not reopen. Right? I did all this mess for this. So I hope it triggers. I think it looks like 60 seconds instead of 30, but yeah, it triggered now. It triggered now. And hopefully the door, exactly. Hello, Dr. O'Place. Hey, welcome. The door didn't open. It's triggering again. Why is triggering again? This is a problem, huh? Are we scheduling another event just because we activated and so toggled the door? Hello, Dr. O. What do you want to do? I want to make a multiplayer game, but I don't want to use something like Epic or Steam because I don't want to have to set up the whole thing with Contractor or something. I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, Epic or Steam are not providing. I mean, you need to have your own server, yes. You need to have your own server, if this is what you're asking, right? You need to have your own server, and you can run it regardless of any other contractor like we do, right? So we have our own dedicated server, and we run it on our hardware, and we don't depend from anyone. But so one thing is running your game, and another thing is distributing your game. So to distribute your game, you may still want to be on Steam or on Epic, right? So that you get more visibility for new players. But you don't need a lot of, for that, just for the distribution, you know, you don't need a lot of contracts. I mean, basically there is a standard Epic agreement and a standard Steam agreement that you have to sign, yes, when you put your game there. And basically the clauses are, for example, for Steam, the clauses are that they take 30% of any revenue, right? And which is insanely high, by the way. And so if you set it up there, you have to remember that if you make money out of it, you have to give money to Steam, right? I mean, assuming that you want to make money. So I would suggest to read the Steam distribution, or you can do like we do, right? But I would not suggest it really. That we have the download on our website only, right? But having it on our website only means that we don't get exposure, right, to new players, because, you know, I mean, players need to find us on Google, right, and not on Steam or on Epic. So okay, I think it's pretty good that we fixed the reset timer properly. The fact that it triggered twice, I think it's just because I put my dagger twice into the pedestal, and so this started actually 2 timers, right, for the reactivation. But at the end, the door stayed closed, which is exactly what we wanted. So I think that this change of the default state is very good and is actually doing what we need. So yeah, so this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So we can say that we completed this, right? Which is good. We still need to do the consume script on the pedestal, which is this one, right? Unfortunately now it's a bit late, and I have to go, but that is the next one we need to do. That is the next one we need to do. Okay, my stream is lagging. Okay, well, I'm about to go anyway. I'm about to go because it's like past midnight. It's midnight 06. Okay, guys, I think it's good. We did well tonight. We added so the pedestal is now fully working, which is great. Actually, we fixed the problem of the last room because it was not working with the last, but it was working with the next to last, and that was very confusing. But now it works properly. Seems that the doors, now we have them everywhere. The NPC is not attacking me because I'm invisible. But apart from that, everything else should work as expected. Okay, I think that's all for tonight. Tomorrow I want to do the consume script, which should not be that hard, right? Maybe I do it tomorrow after dinner, before starting the stream, let's see. But and then we will think what's next, right? But at the moment we can already do quite a bit in the dungeon. So do you see, Hula, now how it works, how the pedestal works? Now you understand what is it, huh? Now you understand what is it. I can put an item here, boom, and that door opens. So this pedestal will have a riddle, right? We'll have a riddle. You will have to solve the riddle and consume an item to actually go to the last room. And maybe I can make it optional in the dungeon generation, but yeah. Anyway, with that, I will say bye-bye. And I will also proclaim victory for tonight. Victory! Victory for tonight! And I see an item of lost daggers. Yeah, the dagger will be consumed, will be removed. So you put it in and it destroyed. It is destroyed. It is destroyed. So it's like an offer. It's like an offer to an altar. If you want to click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that would be nice. And also if you want to do a bit more, we have a Patreon site. You can become a Patreon and support the game for the development. With that, I'm gone and I will see you tomorrow evening. Bye bye. 9:30 p.m. European time. Bye. It will be consumed, Hula. So if it's a silver dagger, it goes by name, so it goes by name. Is the name of the item. Is it? I don't know. No, I think at the moment it's the ID. So yeah, you may... yeah. Possibly. You can use your silver dagger, yeah. If you want, you can. I would not suggest it, but you can.